How you doing, everybody? It's Z. So on this week's forum post on the Olympic and Paralympic Games, I actually found an article that was published just about a week ago by the New York Times, and the article goes on to talk about that it actually may be time to rethink the Olympic Games again, and goes into a little bit of detail speaking about how Japan has actually worked pretty hard to tamp down the virus, but as of last week when this article was published, cases are creeping up again, and the nation's vaccine rate is starting to lag a little bit. And into, with this troubled environment, there's going to be over 11,000 athletes from all over the world, along with coaches, officials, Olympic staff, sport, media workers, and a lot more that are all going to be in this confined area. And the Tokyo Olympic Games could actually end up being a 3-week super spreader event that leads to the death and illnesses of many across Japan and beyond. The article goes on further to actually talk about the Olympic Winter Games, not to be controversial or anything, but these games are actually scheduled for February 2022 in around Beijing. And there's actually a lot of anticipation centered on whether they should be boycotted because the article, again, not to be controversial, but the article goes on to detail speaking about how China has been repeatedly accused of brutalizing its own people. And even though China denies such claims, the Biden administration, Canadian Parliament, United Nations officials, and up to, I believe, 180 human rights organizations have said that China is actually engaged in genocide against ethnic Muslim minorities. Um, Honestly speaking, I really don't think that the games should happen per se because IOC itself hasn't, when they released their protocol about a couple weeks ago, they haven't really stated what kind of precautions or anything they're going to be taking for against COVID for the games. All they've pretty much said is that if somebody has symptoms, then they will be testing, and obviously they'll be doing testing I believe it's every 2 to 3 days. But there's no obviously because of the limited amount of vaccines available and priorities for the elderly and everything else. Having all these over 11,000 people in such a confined area isn't really. I don't personally think it's worth the risk, but yeah, that's my opinion. So, just interested in wondering what you guys thought about the games actually happening this year. Thank you.